Most people think they already know the best financial advice in the world. Save money, invest early, avoid debt. But what if I told you that none of these are actually the most powerful financial rule ever discovered? What if the real secret, the one that built empires, fueled revolutions, and created generational wealth, was something far deeper, older, and more across 4,000 years of human history? From the clay tablets of ancient Babylon to the banking halls of Renaissance Italy, from Rockefeller's boardrooms to Silicon Valley's index fund millionaires, the same principle appears again and again, written, proven, repeated, and almost universally ignored. Why? Because accepting this truth forces you to confront what is broken in your finances, your habits, and your mindset. To reveal this principle, we must travel through the origins of wealth, its rise in the industrial age, the breaking point when society abandoned ancient financial wisdom, the fallout that traps millions today, and the failed fixes people desperately cling to. Only then can we understand the rule that every wealthy person follows, consciously or unconsciously, whether they lived 4,000 years ago or they're rebuilding wealth in today's world of algorithms, inflation waves, and endless consumer temptation. The story begins in ancient Babylon, the birthplace of debt, credit, interest, and markets. Archaeologists uncovered clay tablets with the earliest financial contracts, and among them were wealth principles that still echo through time. The most important line ever written on money, older than banks, older than coins, simply said, "A part of all you earn is yours to keep." In a world of unstable harvests, unpredictable trade, and constant risk, people who followed this rule built wealth. Those who ignored it remained laborers forever. Centuries later, a runaway teenager named Benjamin Franklin rediscovered the same rule. Broke, alone, and working in a printing shop, Franklin began saving tiny amounts and reinvesting everything. His discipline created a fortune so intelligently managed that it kept growing for 200 years after his death. The truth was becoming impossible to ignore. Wealth is not about how much you earn, it's about what you consistently keep and allow to grow. But the world was about to change, and with it, the financial habits of millions. When the Industrial Revolution arrived, everything transformed. Wages increased, cities grew, and millions moved from farms to factories, earning consistent money for the first time. Yet something strange happened. Despite higher incomes, most people stayed poor. A small minority, no more than 5%, quietly grew wealthy by following the ancient principle of disciplined saving and investing. Meanwhile, governments, banks, and businesses noticed something troubling. People weren't spending enough, and an economy powered by factories and mass production needed constant consumption. So the message changed. Saving was no longer celebrated. Spending became patriotic. Advertisers promoted indulgence. Companies introduced installment plans. Banks offered credit cards. Governments encouraged buying over saving. The ancient rule of Babylon, the habit that created wealth for millennia, was systematically replaced by a culture built on debt, desire, and distraction, and society willingly participated. By the mid-1900s, the shift was complete. By now, pay later became the motto of the modern citizen. Houses, cars, furniture, vacations, even groceries could be financed. Debt became normal. Savings became rare. Investing became something for the rich. For the first time in human history, households across the world were encouraged to spend more than they earned, with governments reinforcing the idea that economic growth depended on consumer confidence, not financial discipline. Fast forward to today. 64% of Americans can't handle a $400 emergency. More than half of millennials have $0 invested. By now, palatar usage is exploding. Credit card debt is at a historic peak. Globally, consumer debt is at the highest level in human history, while average savings rates are at a historic low. Despite more income, technology, and opportunity than any generation before us, financial fragility is worse than ever. The ancient rule was abandoned, and the consequences are unavoidable. When people feel financially trapped, they reach for solutions that don't actually work. They assume the problem is income, believing a bigger paycheck will fix everything, but lifestyle, inflation always catches up. Others tell themselves they'll start saving later, once life gets easier, but later never comes. Many think they need a perfect investment strategy before they start, when in reality, wealth is built by starting before you're ready. Some believe they must pay off all debt before they save, not realizing that without the habit of keeping money, debt always returns. And many wait for the right economic conditions, as if wealth depends on the weather. These failed fixes keep people stuck in the same patterns their entire lives. Yet throughout all of history, Babylonian merchants, Franklin's investments, Rockefeller's strategies, modern index fund, billionaires, the wealthy always followed the same rule. The unmistakable, uncomfortable truth is that the best financial advice in the world is simple, ancient, proven, and consistently ignored. The greatest financial advice you'll ever hear is this: pay yourself first, no matter what. Not when you're rich, not when life gets easier, not after the bills. Now, every time, automatically, before anything else. This is the rule that built Babylon, fueled Franklin's fortune, shaped Rockefeller's empire, and quietly creates millionaires in the modern era. Paying yourself first means keeping a percentage, 5%, 10%, 20% of every dollar you earn, investing it, and never touching it. This rule wins over income, intelligence, timing, luck, and market cycles. It works in ancient cities, industrial factories, digital economies, and inflation-heavy modern markets. It explains why the wealth gap expands not because of income inequality, but because of savings and investment inequality. The wealthy follow the ancient rule. Everyone else follows the advertising rule. And history shows that civilizations rise or fall based on whether individuals build financial resilience or ignore it. So here are the 3 takeaways you must remember. 1. Wealth is a habit, not a number. Even saving $10 builds the muscle that saving $10,000 requires. To your income matters far less than the portion you keep. Earnings are temporary, but investments are permanent. 3. Time is the most powerful investor in history. You can always make more money, but you can never make more time, so start now, even with the smallest possible amount. And here's the warning: if you ignore this rule, nothing else can save your financial life, not a promotion, not a business, not a lucky investment. But if you apply it, truly apply it, then your financial future becomes inevitable. Quietly, slowly, predictably, just like it did for thousands of years of wealth builders before you. If this lesson opened your eyes or reminded you of a forgotten truth, share this video with someone who needs it. And if you want more deep, story-driven breakdowns about money, history, and the patterns that shape our financial lives, subscribe, like, and turn on notifications, because sometimes the best financial advice isn't new at all. It's ancient wisdom rediscovered.